myself Bhagyashree and welcome to my channel Bhagyashree Tech. So today I am going to share this interview question for the full stack .NET developer with Angular, Azure and .NET Core, which was asked in the Publicis Sapient company, and there is like 4 round over there, and is it tough compared to other service-based company. And first you will get the call from the HR. She will provide or he will provide the assessment, and after the assessment if you clear, then you get the next call. So I clear those assessment, and in that some of the coding question, like there is 2 online coding question and 40 is MCQ type, which is different coding, some theoretical mix over there, I will say. And you have to give the proper output, like proper output selection over there, and there's no negative marking, but yeah, you have to get the correct one. There's a criteria for the 70%, you have to be clear for the clearing those assessment, I will say. Try to be optimize or use 100% what is from that topic, so that will be beneficial for you all. Okay, so after that assessment, once you complete and submit, then after that you have to be informed like this is the test I submitted, and HR also they will immediately call after 1 day when you submit your test, and otherwise you can also take the follow-up. After that, if you are clear, you have to be take the second round call, which is again HR will notify you what is the time slot they available. And the second round also we have a 90 minutes, I will say 95 minutes over there in the L2 round. So as per your time and your day availability with the panel available, I will say you have to be choose the date and time, and according that you have to be appear. So I will say, yeah, after selection I got the second round call. I will share the screenshot also, like what is the second round invitation I have, third round invitation I have, everything. If you're not aware about that, how they are sending everything, I will share. Okay, so I am sharing here all this question like as a warm-up question they ask. After that they are going to deep question in that, in the very deep, I will say. And this is not for the fresher level, I will say. This opening was for the medium, like senior to mediator level, and that was the question they ask in that. And in the second round there was 3 member over there. One is expert in the DB side, one is expert in the Angular side, one was expert in the C# .NET Core backend side, like mix. And apart from that they also ask question in the different topic related to your project experience, conflict, how you are working in a team, what is the challenges you are facing, like that. Some of the 5 to 6 question like that. And in the technical also this type of question they ask. And I will share more coding part also after this video. If you like, share, subscribe and give the comment over there. You need this coding question also, what they ask, I will share here. Some of the part I share, and if you not have idea how exactly that code look like, I will share that also. Okay, so I will start from the first question without wasting our time. First they ask from the .NET Core side, and in this topic I will say they are not asking most of the solid or root principle. They are mainly dedicated for the .NET Core side. First they are asking which topic we will start from, like you want to be database part or Azure side or Angular or .NET, whatever you're comfortable. First start you from that topic, then you have to give the other option, like then DB or followed by the Angular, Azure, like that. Okay, so first the question asks what is the latest version in the .NET Core, I will say, and what is the recently you have worked on, which version or which framework, I will say. So we have to give, like I work on the .NET 8 and 9, so I given the answer on that. Then they ask okay, what is the latest features developed in the .NET Core, which was not in the .NET framework like .NET 4 or 5 like that. So you have to get the difference over there from the old to new one, and whatever the difference you giving, you have to be give the reason why it is better, why we have to choose, because some of the companies still they are using the legacy. So why we are still in some of the domains and some of the platforms still they are using their legacy. So you have to be give the some question answer over there, like some discussion over there, which one we have to be choose as per requirement, as per the project. So we have to be switch. So first question they ask in the .NET Core side, what is the dependency injection? So DI is a pattern where a class gets its dependency from the outside rather than creating them internally. It is a very meaningful content, I will say. In .NET Core, it is a built-in using the iService collection, and it improves the testability, loose coupling, and maintainability. You know what is a loose coupling? Loose coupling means we are getting identified the error exception in the compile time. That's why some other name also we are having technical term loose coupling. And after that they ask like where you implemented this dependency injection in your project. Give the example, write some sort of the code in the pseudocode level, I will say. Okay. Then second follow-up question they ask, what is a middleware? And types of middleware, order of middleware. Like in this certain topic, if they are asking the more detailed point of view. So in the middleware we have a component is the request pipeline. Each middleware can read, modify the request, execute logic, pass control to the next middleware, or solve circuit in the pipeline. And example we have like logging, auth, exception handling. This is the inbuilt middleware we have. And otherwise you also create the custom middleware. And they ask like, have you created the custom middleware? So yeah, for my project I given the example pseudocode over there. And follow-up question they ask like, we have a 5 middleware over there, and we want to be communicate from 3rd to 5th, not the 2nd, not the 1st. What happened, how you are communicating? This is the first scenario. And second, they are given like we have a 5 middleware over there, and in the communication 1 to 5, 2nd or 4th maybe get exception, maybe they are failure. Then how you are handling those things, and what is the better approach you are using if you are solving this problem? Give the yes or no. If you are already solved this type of scenario or problem, you have to give the answer. If you're not, you can give the no. I solved, so I given this scenario, and writing the code also by setting up the some condition over there. We have to set the flag. There's a 5-minute discussion going on this topic. How to communicate, how to handle the exception over there between this middleware 1 to 5 over there, and variation also. That was like coding question. They already have snipped some sort of the code in the chat, and they already have one of the platform. From that platform they were giving the questions over there. We have to be solving and compiling each and everything. Is it wrong, is it correct, like that. If you want to be proper answer for this middleware, how we handle the exception over there from this communication 1 to 5, and how to communicate from 2nd to 4th, or jump from 1 to 3rd, like that, please comment it down. I will give the answer. Next, we have a difference between the add transient, add scope, add singleton. This again follow-up question from the middleware. Then we have to give all this answer, like we have a 3 category: transient one, scope one, singleton. And you know what is the use of the transient one? Transient one we are using for the new instance every time. Scope is used for the one instance per request, and singleton is used for same instance for the whole application lifetime. Okay, then in this follow-up question they given like one of the services, dependency injection type things. We have to be inject over there in the controller and services, and we have to be use from this lifetime which one is a right for that code, for that questions. And that is like custom middleware and some sort of the authentication, authorization. And after that we have to be assign the role. After assign the role also we have to categorize. If you are a manager level, you have to give the 5 option. You are a normal user, like you are a candidate only, without any hierarchy over there, So you have to only two option like that. So this is the like complicated scenario they are mentioning. We have to be create the services and give the lifetime, and also in this we have to be handle the exception over there. If we are not properly logged in or we are having some issue over there, then how we are handling those exception each and every time for the multiple pages, what lifetime we are using. So this is also given the like scenario. We have to be choose which one is the right one. Then next question we have, what is the optimistic concurrency? It is a very popular and very complicated also. They given one of the scenario like we have a one single ID and multiple user trying to be download, update, modify each and everything for a single point of connection, I will say they are doing. Then how to handle those concurrency for the particular request. In database also they are mentioning this question, and in the API side also they are mentioning the same question. Like we have a single ID, in that ID some of the employee or some of the user, they are updating, some of the reading, some of the downloading, some of the modifying as per their requirement. So how you are handling those concurrency? So we have to be allow multiple user to read and update data, but before saving the EF, compare a row version or timestamp to detect if someone modify it or not. If it is a mismatch, we have a concurrency exception used when conflict are rare. So this is like very popular question. If you are experienced person, you already seen, and you have to be handle each and every time this type of problem. As a developer, as a full stack developer, we have to be keep all these thing as a mind to future point of view. Next question we have, how do you handle the global exception in the .NET Core? Again, it is follow-up question from the middleware, and in this corresponding they also ask like what is the filter, when we have to be use the filter, when we have to be use the middleware. Have you created the custom middleware? Have you created the custom filter? We have to give this each and everything as a coding wise also. So yeah, in the global exception in the .NET Core, we are writing the custom middleware using exception handler or use the middleware and returning a structure error public problem detail, I will say. Next question we have, what is the item points in API? So in that we have same API called multiple time, result in the same outcome. Like we are using the put, delete. These are the example of the item potent. It is mostly if you are working on the financial domain, so this type of things we can see, and mostly it is used in the those domain, I will say, used for the financial transaction and retry logic. Okay, next most popular question, how to improve the performance of an web API? And this is the combination of the like entity framework and .NET Core features, which is combining they are asking. Okay, so in the performance point of view, we have a Redis caching, EF core has no tracking, store procedure for the heavy query, pagination, response compression. In the response compression, they ask like which one you are using. I mentioned gzip, so we can use those things to compression purpose. Then next most popular, async and await. Next we have a reduce DB call with batching. Now next question is, what is automapper and why we are using? Automapper is a library to map the DTO or entity, and it is reducing the boilerplate, and it is used to project the efficient DB projection. Basically it is like security point of view, I will say. You have a like user ID and password, and which is also already we are mapping from our entity classes. Sometime if you are sending the extra property, so it will be modified or it will be get problematic. So instead of that, we have to use this DTO, which is correctness provided over there. Next we have entity framework core. Mostly in this point of view, like in this section, we have a some of the coding question also. I will share. If you want to, please comment it down. Coding question for this topic. Okay, so in that they are asking what is the change tracking. So change tracking in the EF core is a entity state, which is like state. Basically, they ask like what is the first state in the entity framework. They are like using some difficult terminology, like they are not giving the full what is the entity set in the EF code. They were asking like what is the state. Then I asked like can you give me this in which context you are asking. Then he mentioned in the entity framework I am asking. So yeah, in the entity framework, track entity state is like state is basically added, modified, deleted to generate the proper sequel. Disable using as no tracking for read only query to improve the performance. Okay, then next question they ask what is a lazy loading and eager loading. Lazy loading, as we know, like it is load navigation or property of the on demanded. Eager loading is like load related entity via the include options. And explicitly we are using manual load using the context.entry or collection.load like that. Next we have what is the n+1 problem. So in this like what happened, one query for parent plus n query for children. So fix for this we have to use the include projection or RAS equal. Next they ask like how many types of architecture wise application have you worked. So I work on the monolithic SOI architecture, microservices architecture, entire architecture. Then they ask like each and every architecture when we are working what is the evolution of that and what is the latest architecture you have worked on. So for I was latestly work on the microservices. Then he asked on that question why microservices better than other as per your point of view. As I mentioned like microservices as better I compare from all of them. Then he asked like why. So I mentioned it is independently deployability, technology freedom, scalability per services and team autonomy. Okay, then in the microservices also we have a pattern, then CQRS pattern, Saga pattern. These are the very important topic if you are working on the microservices. So CQRS is a command query responsibility segregation, separate the write model and read model, improve the performance, scalability and avoid the read-write conflict. And I will say if you have a big application, enterprise level application, then you have to choose the microservices architecture with this type of pattern. Otherwise it will be not useful for your application. Next we have a Saga pattern. Again it is pattern maintain the data consistency across the microservices using the SQL of the local transaction with compensation steps and use instead of the distributed transaction. And basically I will say we have a two category here, choreography and orchestration in the Saga pattern. Next, what is the circuit breaker pattern? And it is most important and commonly asked. Anything you are creating, anything in the application, you have to be always seen what if it not work well, what if it goes down, what if in the worst situation, how we handle to that. Like we have to create the A or B plan like that. So in this point of view, in this thought, we have to work on this application. We are creating each and everything, but it is not smoothly going. Like our life also we can see sometime good, sometime not. So application also working in that way. Like we are creating the application, sometime it is working, sometime not working. And how we are handling those things. So we have to mention each and everything, what proper methodology you are work on that. So circuit breaker pattern is again downstream services failed repeatedly, then circuit breaker open and stop the request temporarily. And it helped to avoid the cascading failure, and it is implemented in .NET using the poly. This is the very important question, API gateway. Why we need it? API gateway is basically we are using for this point or this feature purpose, for routing purpose, for authentication purpose, for rate limiting purpose, for aggregation, for logging, for costs. And in that also they are mentioning one of the again problem, like we are communicating two services over there, like three services over there, microservices communication. And for the example, my second services have an exception, or first service, for example we have a first services communication issue over there. Is that transferred to second call or third call, or we have to be handled only single, like first call only, we don't have to be identified notified in the second service call or third microservices call over there. In this type of communication, how you handle that, what you perform over there, we have to give this answer on that. Yeah, because it is a normal, every time this problem is happening. Next question we have in the cloud point of view. If you work on the Azure cloud, they will ask, like for my, they are asking which cloud you are working. Like initially they already know when they see my CV, so I already work on the Azure cloud, and I work on the Microsoft client project, Microsoft cloud project I will say, in the Azure product itself, and already Microsoft certified in architecture developer role. So they are asking more question over there with the some case studies, some scenario over there. I will share those question also in the next video, but right now I having right now recalling these two question I am sharing here. They like whatever the services you are used from the cloud side, you have to be mentioned. So blob is like one of the application I used, so I mentioned like I use the blob services over there. Then they are asking in the blob like what is the storage tiers. So in the blob storage we have a hot, cool, archive. Next in that follow-up question they ask like what is a blob snapshot. So blob snapshot is a read-only backup of blob at a specific time, and it is used for restoring the previous data version. This is very like scenario based question they are mentioning. Like they mention like you are already working on the old version, and again you have a requirement from the latest version, and we are working on the latest version. Then how we know like the previous version or previous data were specified, how we get those details if you're working on this cloud or blob storage over there. So I mentioned the snapshot, then they ask like detail over there. Then I also work on the Azure service bus, so they ask on that question like what is the pattern, what is the use, what is the ordering. So service bus basically it is a queue and topic pattern. Kafka is stream and event log. And basically service bus used for the reliable messaging, means at least one message communication of one message performed delivery successfully over there. Kafka is a real-time data processing. You will see like when we have a live match, Hotstar, Geo, they are live streaming over there. We are seeing live that. So in that project or in that application, we are using the Kafka or Event Hub from the Azure side. And in this we can see ordering point of view. If you know like we need a ordering point, correct, so you can go for the service bus, we have a guarantee order. But in the Kafka it is a partial level. Partial level means it is a grouping type. We can't say like each and every time you are getting the 1 2 3 like that. You can get sometime 2 4 like that. It is like grouping type. Partition is nothing but it is a grouping type, which we can see. Next we have Angular front end side. Yeah, Angular side you will see you have to be already prepared for that 20 version, 17 version, 18 version. So I was started working from the 14 version. So I mentioned like I one of my project I work on the 14 version, 17 version, 20 version. One of the like which is recently we are work on this things modified our project. So they are asking each and everything what will latest achieve from the each version, why latest is better, why 17 better, why 14 better, what is 14 was not there which we are included in the 18 or 20, like that. I will give each and every question from this comparison also. And what is the latest feature you are using from the Angular, which is 20 recently we see. So much question on that. So yeah, first I will ask like first I will providing this for the zone related question. They are asking what is a zone.js. So zone.js is a patches in async API. Basically it is a set timeout event promises and notify the Angular to run the chain detection automatically. Next, then they ask like what is the chain detection. So chain detection is a process where Angular check the component state changes and updated the UI. If we have a modes over there, default and on push. Next they ask like what is the behavior subject versus subject. In the behavior subject and subject we have a difference over there. I will share the code also. They given the snip of this code also. And we have to be identify which is subject, which is behavior subject, like that. So subject is a emit value only when subscribed. Behavior subject is store last value and send immediately to new subscriber, used for the share state. Okay, then next question we have RxJS. You know RxJS? Then I mention yes. Then they ask like give the some name of this RxJS operator. I mentioned like switch map, merge map, concat map, exhaust map, and why we are using this mapping. So we have to be mentioned. Next we have a lazy loading in Angular. So lazy loading, as we know, it is loaded when we demand, and it improves the performance and reduce the initial bundle size. And this is like generic one I will say, but after that they are asking more on the latest one, 17, 18 and 20 version. So that is like most question I will say 17 question over there, bunch of that. So I will share that one also. Next for the database side we are coming. So the database side we can see if you work on the table of procedure, how you improve the performance. Because if you are senior person or if you are experienced person, they always try to be asking in those point of direction, like how you maintain or how you create our application so fast, so performance point of view good, look and feel good. Each and every type I will say what we can do better in terms of each and everything. Because code is like anyone can do, but for the maintainability, scalability, performance point of view, you are a senior person, then how your work on that, what is your approaches, if anything legacy type of application you are working, or you are already having some of the handover for that project, so how you handle or how you work on that, what is your thought. So always like if you are appearing as a like senior person or experienced person, you don't have to be focused on the coding part. I will say you have to be focused on the approach, how you are maintaining or creating any application, good look and feel, performance, scalability, less error prone application. I will say error is coming, but less I will say. So most of the time they are looking for the approaches, how you like giving the approach for this particular problem. Okay, so coming to the database side, they are asking like indexing point of view question. They ask like what is the cluster index, what is a non-cluster index. So cluster is physically sort data, non-cluster is separate structure point to data. It means one table if I creating, we have a one cluster index plus multiple non-cluster index, And again I am clarifying here, this indexing we are creating, it is not automatically created by table or generating anything magically. We are creating purposefully for indexing purpose. Then we have a deadlock. How to resolve? Same I mentioned in the API also. They are asking like we have a multiple request, how we are handling for the same thing in the API level. Same in the store procedure side also we have. We have to check like ensure same order of the operation, add proper indexing, reduce the transaction scope, use the retry logic. Next they ask like how to choose the NoSQL DB. So SQL means is a SQL when we are using when we know each and every data, format, schema, type, structure means. But NoSQL it is like unstructured. We don't know what type of format or data type we are storing. So it is used mostly for the high scalability, schema less data, event driven system, high ingestion rate. So for my application, for the NoSQL purpose, I use the Cosmos DB. And on premises, we have a SQL server, and some of the data we migrated from on premises to Azure SQL data. Azure SQL server, I will say. So for migration also, what is the step we perform? We have to give the answer. They ask on that, have you done any migration over there in the cloud side? What is the approach? What is the step have you performed? Before that, what is the things we have to create for the migration? Okay, so this is the question they ask. And apart from this, they have multiple coding question also. That is around, I will say, 14 plus question. And if you want, please comment it down. Please like, share this video, and hope I will provided the useful information, questions and content for you all. So till then, bye, happy learning, happy coding. Meet you in the next video. Bye.